It's said he has the largest Jewish congregation in the metropolitan St. Louis area. We're going to find out about that on St. Louis in Tune. Welcome to St. Louis in Tune, and thank you for joining us for fresh perspectives on issues and events with experts, community leaders, and everyday people who make a difference in shaping our society and world. I'm Arnold Stricker, along with co-host Mark Langston.
Howdy.
Howdy, Mark. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Good to see you, Arnold.
Yeah, it's good to be seen, Mark.
Yes, yes, it is good to be seen.
I like that back and forth like that. I've never heard anybody say that except us. It's good to be seen.
I know. Yeah.
That's why nobody else says it.
That's right. We have a trademark on it or something.
That's
anyway,
correct.
Yeah.
Nobody can use it. It's copyrighted. We have a return to civility today that is it's coming up on a good time to do this, but it's usually all year you should do this. And it's called Tidy Up Your Yard.
Oh, don't look at my backyard.
Plant some flowers, and I love color all year round, if you can have that. Rake the leaves, and we're going to be getting into the raking the leaves season, or the blowing the leaves. Some people blow the leaves.
Into the neighbor's yard.
Mow the grass, improve the spirit and look of your neighborhood by starting with your own yard, and then offer to help others do the same.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Wow. We are returning to civility here.
Yes.
That is a good idea. I've helped cut the neighbor's yard. And can I just tell you, I used to be mayor, and if I was still mayor, I would give this guy a proclamation. He walks around the neighborhood with a bag and one of those long
Grabbers?
Yeah. And he picks up trash.
That's
and
great.
I see him every couple of days. He'll just be,
That's
I
great.
guess he's out for a walk and picking up trash. And I'm just like, yes.
He's investing in the community. He has ownership of the community.
And I say thank you. I always stop. I say thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I should be walking with you. But anyway, sorry.
Somebody who has ownership in the metropolitan St. Louis area and who has the largest Jewish congregation, supposedly, is Rabbi Brad Horwitz. He's here to talk to us.
Wait, supposedly?
Supposedly.
What does that mean?
Because there are multiple congregations, and then when you put them all together, you amalgamate them together. And
I'm happy to jump in whenever you're ready. I got some things to say about this.
Yeah, he's got to correct me.
I'm on your side, Rabbi.
He's the Chief Jewish Engagement Officer at the J. Rabbi Brad, welcome to St. Louis in Tune.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now you can go.
If you use the word congregation loosely, that's true. I serve our Jewish Community Center serves way more than a typical congregation does. But I'm not the typical rabbi pastor that a lot of my colleagues are. It's it's fun to say that in terms of touching lives and impacting people here in the St. Louis area, I have a pretty far reach.
You have a huge responsibility, so tell us a little bit about what the Chief Jewish Engagement Officer does, because you have a huge role to take care of people in a very large area.
The J is proud to offer so many services to our community, cultural, religious, spiritual, and just support. So my role at the J is to help manage all of the different programs. We have festivals, we have education programs, we have programs for seniors, people with disabilities, it runs the gamut. But my role is to help also just ensure that the Jewish culture is being represented. And I like to say to people, I keep the J in the JCC. That's my job.
Love it.
And Mark and I are familiar with the J and having several programs that we've done, the book festival and the film festival, and even when we were growing up, a lot of our classmates went to the J when it was an older facility.
Is the J part of the Holocaust Museum out there?
We're on the same campus. Actually, we have two campuses, one in Chesterfield and one in Creve Coeur, and our Creve Coeur location is on the same campus as the Holocaust Museum, but it is a separate organization.
I gotcha. Okay.
We do a lot together.
I wondered about that. Yeah. Been out there to that, too. That's a pretty
it's very good.
Remarkable
Especially
place.
They had a expansion.
Yeah, this past year they had a brand new, huge expansion, and it's wonderful. Now it's considered one of the better museums around the country for Holocaust museums, which is amazing.
Now you're here to talk to us about the Sababa Jewish Arts and Culture Festival coming up September 29th, and that's going to take place at the Millstone campus out in Creve Coeur. Tell us a little bit about, first of all, Sababa. What is that?
Sababa, I'll say first, is as a Hebrew word. It's a slang word, and it means cool or awesome or contemporaneous.
Like us, we're Sababas.
Yeah, you guys are the close people I've met today.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rabbi.
It's all good. It's a fun event, and so it's good to have some fun. But it really is designed to feature Jewish arts and culture for our region, and it's an opportunity to gather together with music and art and food in kind of a Jewish context and learn a little bit and have fun together. So we're now in our third iteration of the festival, and we're really excited because we have so many great things planned.
Yeah, and Mark, we were talking before we went on the air that 2 years ago they had 613, Lior Melnick, who we've had on the show. They were there. I saw them in the video. I was like, they had 613 there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
they're a great group.
Yeah, they are great.
So arts, music, let's pick this apart a little bit. And I saw something where some of the music's going to be at WashU, or was that incorrectly stated?
No, that is not. Everything's happening in one place at the J in Creve Coeur.
Okay. And September 29th, and the hours, folks, 10:30 to 4 p.m., 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Do people need tickets or anything like that?
Not at all. It's a free event. It's open to the entire region.
You don't have to be Jewish.
You don't have to be Jewish. We actually, anybody can go to the Greek festival. You don't have to be Greek. It's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Come and experience some Jewish culture, art. It doesn't matter what your background is. And so we really want people to come join us.
Okay, so some of the major artists, you have some of these bands that are coming in. I thought is it Gili Yalo?
Yeah, Gili Yalo. That's the one I have to say I'm the most excited about because he is originally from Israel. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of touring around the world, and he has this Ethiopian background, which is a really cool vibe, it's a combination of like psychedelic, funk, soul, and jazz, and also some Hebrew and some English, and it's just a really great sound, and he's getting more and more notoriety, and to have him come to St. Louis, this is one of his first appearances in the United States, so we're really excited about Gili.
So is he still in Israel, or is he now based in the States?
I think he actually bases, I could be wrong, but I think in New York, but he's, he goes back and forth and has lots of family in Israel, but he grew up there in his entire life. And, but he has Ethiopian roots, so it's not just... it just brings in this whole new kind of vibe to the whole music scene.
Yeah, and another interesting vibe is Joe Buchanan. I love the Texas-born and Southern-raised country music that is steeped in the Torah.
His name is familiar. He's been around a while?
Joe's been to St. Louis before.
Okay.
He's performed a couple times at area synagogues. This is his biggest appearance in our community. So we're excited to feature him and have more people kind of tune into what he's all about. Joe's just such a nice guy, and he's so authentic, and he wears the cowboy hat, and he's got that cowboy feel, but he does incorporate Jewish themes and Jewish ideas into his music.
Yeah. And Charlie Kramer, Lucy Greenbaum, and Greta Rosenstock.
This act is a first for Sababa because they are all local and they've never performed together before. So it's a new collaboration where the three of them are, in their own rights, excellent musicians, and they are going to come together and perform for the first time as a group, and all of them are just really talented.
Have they so they play individually and now they're going to get together?
Exactly. Each three of them have their own sort of different backgrounds and experiences, but some of them are song leaders who kind of work in the synagogues and temples around town, work at like Jewish camps, and then some of them also, even I know Greta has performed in theater around the St. Louis area. She's done some singing. So they all have their own talents, and they're going to bring it all together for a cool act.
Yeah, one of my favorites, and Mark, we cue this one up, is 002.
Oh, 002.
Here's one of my favorites. It's the only klezmer big band in Missouri. It's Gesundheit.
Yes, Gesundheit. Do you need a tissue?
I guess I like it because clarinets are in that band.
Yeah. This is a really classic Jewish feel, klezmer music. If you think of a genre that has a Jewish essence, klezmer is one of the first that's going to come to mind. And they have just a ton of different instruments, and it's such a big sound. Yeah. When you come to a festival, you think about this amazing, that just kind of radiates the entire area, and they're going to really fill out with. It's really just fun, and people will dance. It's great.
Yeah, you can't be sleeping when.
No, I'm moving now.
Yeah.
That's right. I feel like I'm there already.
Yeah, we should start clapping. There we go. Hey, Bob Herman was the one who started that group.
Yep.
local band leader.
And they've been around the world, too. This is not, even though they're local to Missouri, they've traveled to Brazil and Paraguay. They get out there and they're well known.
Gesundheit. I love that name.
And you're pronouncing it correctly, and a lot of people have a hard time. So
How do they do that? How could you miss that one?
I don't know. You'd be surprised.
That's good. I'm not going to try because I know I'll mess it up.
I don't think there would be any festival in St. Louis without music. We talked about that. But
food is important.
Okay,
yes,
so
it is.
I'm salivating now as I'm.
This is the part of the
speaking.
interview I've been waiting for.
I know there'll be a kosher deli that's doing some
so
catering.
we have a new food vendor this year, which is our first, and we're really excited about. Their name is Zelda's, and they actually are based in Chicago. They're coming down to St. Louis, and it's kosher, but you wouldn't know it because it's such delicious food. It just happens to be accessible to everybody, no matter what your dietary restrictions are.
And explain what kosher is.
And so
Rabbi.
kosher is the Jewish law in terms of what we are prohibited and allowed to eat in the Jewish community. And people keep it to a different degree depending on your level of observance. But we want to make sure that this festival is accessible to all Jews and even those who keep strict dietary rules. And so therefore we bring in a special caterer.
Cool.
But the food is delicious, and they're planning a lot of Jewish kind of type food, such as brisket sandwiches and schnitzel sandwiches, shawarma plates, and then also just traditional like festival food like hamburgers and hot dogs and brats. There's something for everybody, and they've done festivals before, so this is not new for them, but it's new to us. So we're really excited to bring them in.
And this is on the campus, so are these going to be, do you have spread out on the parking lot, or how is it looking if we're walking into the festival?
Yeah, so the J has a very large back parking lot where we also have a pavilion, and the entire festival will fit. We also have a soccer field, so part of it will be on the soccer field, and we have a huge area in the back, and when you walk in, it'll be like an entrance, and you'll check in, and it's free to everybody. And if you want to go to sababastl.com, you can learn more about it. And if people want to register in advance, we'd love to see who's coming, so that's all not necessary, but we'd love that.
How would you do that?
So there's a QR code. You just go to the website, main page, and it's just your name and how many people in your party, basically, just so you have a
simple.
sense.
Yeah,
easy.
very simple. That's Sababa, Saba.com,
right.
Sababastl.com.
And I forgot to mention potato knishes. Like, I'm a sucker for potato knishes. And Zelda's is going to have, it's like a dough-filled pastry with potato filling. It's delicious.
Yum.
I feel like there's one of these in every culture. Like, it's a pierogi, it's a knish. But this is the Jewish version.
There you go. There you go.
I'm for it. I can't wait.
This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We're talking to Rabbi Brad Horwitz, the Chief Jewish Engagement Officer at the J, and he's talking to us about Sababa, the Jewish Arts and Culture Festival, going to be held September 29th from 10:30 to 4 p.m. out at the Millstone campus in Creve Coeur. Also at festivals, you normally have a lot of kind of art kinds of things, whether it's pottery or painting or macrame or jewelry, or are we going to see that too?
Absolutely. We feature over 25 different artists, all local, who have all sorts of different medium, whether it's, like you just said, ceramic, glass, jewelry, photography, and all of these things are for sale. And some of them have a Judaica theme, but others are just beautiful landscapes and nature, and all of the artists have some connection to the Jewish community. Some of their art is, depending on the artist, will have a more of a Jewish theme or not, but there's something for everybody and lots of different price points. So I know we just had the St. Louis Art Fair, so people had a chance to enjoy that. Well, if you missed that, come to Sababa and you can get some more art. And these are different artists than you would have seen.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Mostly local again?
Yeah, they're pretty much all local.
Okay.
I think we have one from Kansas City coming in and one from Chicago, but they all have St. Louis connections.
Okay. Now, I want to turn a little bit to your role and what you do, and I think it's important that people understand that you're an educator at heart. And you're also an author. You're a children's author. And how that plays into your role of what you're doing now. And you previously worked mainly, I would say, in adult education and helping adults. But how has what you've done springboarded you to doing what you're doing today?
I've always had a passion for the Jewish culture and the Jewish faith. That's why I became a rabbi to start with. And it's been my mission to really help others learn and come to appreciate what I've personally grown up with and loved my entire life. So there's so many different ways to access Jewish faith and Jewish ideas. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter what your observance is or whether you went to a Jewish school or not. The J is a place where I found to be the best place for me because we accept anybody no matter where you're from, and we just try to help you along your Jewish journey. And we're also there for people who are not Jewish to learn about our culture. We live in a world where we can't just live in a bubble within the Jewish community. So my passion is to help the Jewish community, but also to help the general community to understand and build those connections from around the community.
So put some legs on that. What does that look like? When people walk around or drive around, they're not going to necessarily see maybe you going to a specific congregation in St. Louis, or maybe they will see you, but what does that look like when it's put into place?
Yeah, for my role at the J, a lot of it comes through the programs we provide to the community. So whether it's the festivals like the Book Festival and the Jewish Film Festival, and we also have the New Jewish Theater at the J, which provides professional theater here in town. We also are there to support people. People call me, and I'm a person who is very willing to talk to anybody who has a question about Judaism. We offer classes to people. We just did a program for someone, for example, in an interfaith relationship, and we had a class for the non-Jewish spouse to learn about Judaism. So that's another thing we do at the J. And we offer special Jewish programming for women. We have actually this weekend, there's a retreat that we are organizing for Jewish women, which is over the Jewish Sabbath down in the Ozarks. We have a property, we have a camp called Camp Sabra, and we have over 100 women who are adults who are coming down for the weekend to learn and enjoy and have fun together.
That's cool.
So it's, but all these things that I'm talking about, we do in a way which, there's no expectations walking in the door. You can just be who you are, and if we can learn, and it helps people to grow, and as Jews, but also as human beings.
Where do you see your role? How is it going to continue or advance or morph? Or do you see it doing that based upon pressures coming in from the culture, outside culture, into the Jewish faith? Or do you see that you want to continue to expand some of the things that have been successful so far?
I think we live in a very unique time, especially over the events of this past year. And I've come to realize, I've been doing this now, I've been there for 19 years. This is not new to me. But this year has been really difficult for the Jewish community. It's been difficult for a lot lot people ever since the events of October 7th in Israel and the rise in anti-Semitism on college campuses this past year. And it's shine a light to me on the importance of showing positive ways to connect with Judaism and the Jewish community. And Sababa is a great example. I see this as not just a typical festival, but here's an opportunity to come together as a community and to heal and to just to have some fun and have some positive energy together instead of focusing on the negative. The work that we do at the J really is an opportunity for people to really connect in that way.
And, as we talked before the show started, you had done some work in Minnesota, and you're from L.A., which it's really interesting. A West Coast guy kind of in the Midwest here.
I still go back and visit. I still have family there. But,
Are you a Dodger fan?
The traffic's a little better here than there.
Oh, my gosh.
I bet.
I was a Dodgers fan.
Okay.
So you've changed your ways.
I root for if the Cardinals are out of it, then I'll root for the Dodgers.
You're rooting for the Dodgers now.
I think this year I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
Looks like that's where we're going. Yeah.
What'd you do in Minnesota that helped you come down here and be part of the group down here?
Before I worked at the J, I worked in the Jewish day school, the Jewish private day school world as assistant head of school and director of Judaic studies, and it was more kind of formal education. And I came down to St. Louis really mostly because of family. My wife's family's from St. Louis, so that kind of first draw us down here, and family's very important to me. But this job opened up at the J at the same time, and I shifted it and realized that I can affect more people and still just pursue my passion.
Yeah,
so that's what
great.
brought me down.
That's great.
It's important to affect people, I think, if you can.
How do you...
If you know how to do that.
Yeah, how do you rate or how do you evaluate the impact that you have? I know people will say, "Oh, we had so many numbers coming to this festival, and we've had great turnout for the authors and the book festival and for the films." I know that's just one measure, but you want to really help people and encourage them along the way. How do you measure that kind of non-measure?
Yeah, that's the age-old question, right? It's hard to measure someone's internal emotional feelings.
Right.
But we do a lot of surveys and we do a lot of interviews after we provide these programs to get a sense how it affects people.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, we ask specific questions like, did this experience help you to increase your knowledge of Judaism? Did this experience help you increase your pride in your Jewish identity?
Mm-hmm.
And all these surveys and these interviews give us a little bit of a sense of how we're making that impact. We also just get people who are so touched and inspired by the things that they participate in that they send us testimonials and they send us these emails about how the things that we do have touched their lives. We have a program that we offer at the J, which is a national program called the JCC Maccabi Games. It's for teenagers. It's like a mini teenager Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a St. Louis delegation that competes and goes to each summer a different place. This year we went to Detroit. And I bring that up because there was a parent who sent a child on that experience and basically sent an email afterwards saying that this changed their life, that it was such a great way for him to be among other people and having fun playing sports, but also growing as a Jew.
Cool.
And when you get things like that and you get emails, you realize you are making an impact.
Right,
And sometimes it's one person at a time.
Right.
And it's not just about the numbers.
Right.
It's about what happens.
The quality.
Yeah. It's really important.
That's great.
Yeah, that is, because kids are at a real decisive time in the teenage years, and to be able to have a support system with their peers and a group like the J to undergird what's going on to help the parents in that situation, it's very important.
Another big thing that we do is help people connect. It's not just about learning. That's a big part of it, or being inspired, but it's also connecting. And so many people are stuck at their homes, and COVID seems like it's way back in the rearview mirror. But people still are looking to connect and make friends, and so we are there at the Jade, and we facilitate so much of that. And that's another way that we measure if we're doing successful. If people are, it's their whole social life and who they're around and where they go. So we help build those connections.
As I was reading your bio in prep for the show, I have author. I added that. I had educator, and you can see this right here, what I put down.
Connector.
I put
nice.
connector. Because reading what you've done, that's what you're doing. You are putting people together. You are putting groups together. And I want to hit on that a little bit more. We're going to take a break. Can you stick around for a little bit?
Sure.
We're going to find out a little bit more from Rabbi Brad Horwitz, the Chief Jewish Engagement Officer. We're talking about Sababa, which is the festival that's coming up, the Jewish Arts and Culture Festival, September 29th. This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. Don't go away.
At St. Louis in Tune, we strive to bring you informative, useful, and reflective stories, as well as interviews about current and historic issues and events that involve people, places, and things. We cover a wide range of topics, such as the arts, crime, education, employment, faith, finance, food, health, history, housing, humor, justice, and sports, and that's just to name a few. While St. Louis in Tune originates from the Gateway City and covers local topics, we also connect to what's going on nationally as well. If you missed any of our previously aired programs of St. Louis in Tune, simply visit stlintune.com. That's stlintune.com. There you'll find the show notes and everything that was mentioned in that episode and all the other great episodes as well. And if you've got an area that you'd like us to examine deeper, well, just let us know by dropping us a note at stlintune@gmail.com. That's stlintune@gmail.com. St. Louis in Tune. It's heard Monday through Friday on the USRadioNetwork.com and many great radio stations around the U.S. and, of course, right here in St. Louis. Our website again is stlintune.com. Visit us today.
This is Arnold Stricker of St. Louis in Tune on behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation. In 1857, the Dred Scott decision was a major legal event and catalyst that contributed to the Civil War. The decision declared that Dred Scott could not be free because he was not a citizen. The 14th Amendment, also called the Dred Scott Amendment, granted citizenship to all born or naturalized here in our country and was intended to overturn the U.S. Supreme Court decision on July 9, 1868. the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation is requesting a commemorative stamp to be issued from the U.S. Postal Service to recognize and remember the heritage of this amendment by issuing a stamp with the likeness of the man Dred Scott. But we need your support and the support of thousands of people who would like to see this happen. To achieve this goal, we ask you to download, sign, and share the one-page petition with others. To find the petition, please go to dredscottlives.org and click on the Dred Scott Petition Drive on the right side of the page. On behalf of the Dred Scott Heritage Foundation, this has been Arnold Stricker of St. Louis in Tune. The United States has a strong tradition of welcoming newcomers and refugees. The Welcome Corps is a new service opportunity for Americans inspired to welcome those seeking freedom and safety and in turn help strengthen their own communities. Welcome Corps is a public-private partnership that is inspired by what Americans represent to so many around the world, a beacon of hope and refuge. All it takes is a helping hand. Are you ready to learn more? Contact the International Institute of St. Louis at info@iistl.org or call 314-773-9090. That's info@iistl.org or call 314-773-9090.
I couldn't even tell you the instruments that are in here.
But it sounds like a mandolin.
The Rabbi's on the mandolin, right?
Sure, I'm not a musician, but it works for me.
Sure. Go with it.
There's a reason I'm not a cantor.
That's like where we're at in TV. We have faces for radio. Could be a dulcimer.
Wow. That's the word for the day.
Yeah, that sounds more like a mandolin playing.
Okay, enough for that.
Yeah,
okay.
there we go.
Sorry.
That was a nice. Actually, if you go on the sababastl.com, SABABASTL.com,
Two BAs there.
You can hear that song playing on their video.
Yeah,
that's where I grabbed that from.
Is that where you got that from?
Yeah, it's Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We're talking to Rabbi Brad Horwitz, Chief Jewish Engagement Officer at the J, and this is about the Jewish Arts and Culture Festival, September 29th. 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. out at the Millstone campus in Creve Coeur. Do other cities have something like the J?
Most communities have a Jewish community center. We call it the J here in St. Louis. And they're different sizes and offer different services. The J in St. Louis is one of the oldest and largest, actually, even though our Jewish community is not the oldest or the largest compared to places like New York and Chicago and L.A. We have one of the larger J's in the country, but there are others who provide some types of the same services. Yeah.
And I think that's one reason that New York and Chicago pay attention to what's going on here in St. Louis.
I would like to think that.
I think so because of the many things that we've already described: the festival, the book festival, the film festival, what am I missing?
The New Jewish Theater.
The New Jewish Theater, yes.
And when it comes to Jewish culture, like those things, we are known around the country to have one of the most excellent offerings.
And along with the Holocaust Museum and the support from the Jewish community here, it's a very vibrant community.
Yeah, we're really lucky in St. Louis. We partner together with so many other Jewish organizations as well, so it's a nice collaborative effort. The Jewish Federation of St. Louis is a really huge support for us and for many in the community as well.
And what kind of work do you do with the ADL?
The Anti-Defamation League, they help to fight against hate and anti-Semitism. That's their mission. And, of course, the program that we provide helps. We do partner with them on certain things. Mm-hmm. Anytime that there's an opportunity to share their resources that they provide, we do that. And there's sometimes where we do educational programs together with them.
Now, as long as Mark and I can remember, the J's been there. So when did that kind of get into existence?
1880.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
1880 was the beginning, and it actually wasn't called the JCC back then. It was called the YMHA, Young Men's Hebrew Association.
Okay.
It was with the Y, not the J. And back when it was formed, it was about helping to assimilate people and who were immigrants into St. Louis who weren't, at that time, the Jewish community wasn't welcome, like many immigrant communities. And so there was a place for Jews to help them to get Americanized and whatnot. And over the years and over the decades, the mission and the services have changed.
But still to maintain an identity to the culture.
Correct.
And much like the Turnerweisen, the Turners groups for the Germans.
How large is the Jewish community in St. Louis? Is it pretty healthy?
So the recent studies, which it's been a few years now, and I think we're doing a new one, is around 60,000
really
people, and that's more than 60,000 households. That's 60,000 people.
Right.
So it's a medium-sized Jewish community if you compare it to other places in the United States.
Okay.
I would call it kind of small/medium.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a really wonderful Jewish community because there's so much here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, something we didn't touch on was the family pavilion that's going to be at the festival. Explain what that's all about.
Yeah, this is new and expanded compared to previous festivals. We have an area that's dedicated to families and young children where they can do special activities. We even have an activity for toddlers. We have the special play structure where they can play with these soft ball tank or whatever you want to call it, where they have an opportunity to play. But we also have some circus acts that are going to be in the family pavilion. We're doing some Jewish yoga for children from a special yoga teacher. Of course, music will happen there too that's more geared towards the kids. We also have a Serengeti Steve, who's a reptile specialist, who's going to bring some interesting creatures for the kids to enjoy. And there'll be some arts and crafts activities and whatnot. Another thing at the festival, on top of the family pavilion, is that every Jewish organization in town, so it's over 30 different schools and synagogues and congregations, and we'll have a table and booth and do some interactive activities for people to learn about all the things in the Jewish community. Which is nice to showcase everything we have here.
So I guess for folks who may be listening and they're like, okay, I'm thinking about the J and everything that he's described out there. This is this big building and this field, but you have a swimming pool, you have gymnasium. And
we offer so many programs. We say from cradle to grave. We have early childhood. We do day camps. We do aquatic swimming. Of course, we have a state-of-the-art fitness facility. And we actually have two separate campuses. One is our in Creve Coeur with the Steinberg Family Complex on the Millstone campus. And we have a building in Chesterfield, which is the Marilyn Fox building. That one is actually going through a huge renovation project, actually. And we're redoing the locker rooms and the fitness center, and we're excited to be able to even grow in the Chesterfield area.
Yeah.
So and then we have our we call our third camp, which is Camp Sabra, which is our overnight residence camp in the Lake of the Ozarks, which is a beautiful property where we have a summer camp program. So we do so much. We also have a program for people with disabilities, developmental, intellectual disabilities.
Wonderful.
Kids and adults. So
Wonderful.
we serve a lot of that. We help people. We have a community garden at the J.
Oh, cool.
Which one core Jewish value is protecting our environment and helping those in need is another one. And our community garden, we grow over 5,000 pounds of produce each season.
gosh.
And all of it's donated to the local food pantry.
Oh, wow.
So we
Good
have
for you.
volunteers that come work
for
and
you.
do that. We have hundreds and hundreds of different types of programs for all ages. And it's anybody could participate.
Yeah, it's not restricted to just Jewish.
Correct.
Right, folks.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to,
Everyone's welcome.
I'm going to give you a little time to think about this. Some of those other programs that people may not know about, like when you talked about the 5,000 pounds of produce and then donating that to a food pantry, I never knew about that.
That's
okay?
great.
Because
That's great.
I think when we were growing up and we knew, okay, yeah, you can go swimming out at the J, yeah, they have a gym, yeah, there's activities out there, but we know about the theater and we know about everything, the things we mentioned. What are some of the other programs that people may not know? Again, dealing with those who have some disabilities and things like that.
Never
What
knew.
are some other things we may not know?
We have a very strong adult day program at the J that serves adults that have Alzheimer's or cognitive dementia but are still living with their homes and need support during the day. We also provide that support at our adult day for young adults with developmental disabilities who've graduated from their school district but yet need some skill development before they go to professional work opportunities. That's a really important program. And actually, that's such an important need in our community that we're adding that component to the new Fox facility in Chesterfield. So that's a really important one. We also offer, you might not know, programs to support people who are going through a cancer journey. It's called the Hamsa Wellness Community. Chamsa is it's the image of a hand. I don't know what a chamsa is. But the idea is that we provide education, support, and programming for those in the Jewish community, but anybody's welcome to join as well. There's certain cancers where people who are Jewish have a higher risk, hereditary, so we help with prevention and education around cancer. We offer, those are just a couple off the top of my head.
Right. No, that's very good. That's very good. I think it's important that people understand that there's a lot of different things that are out there. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking, how many of those kinds of facilities or programs are offered through like a hospital or maybe a not-for-profit? But here we have the Jewish Community Center, who is really embracing the community and providing for the community, much as I would say back in the day, like when groups of people lived together, they took care of their own.
Yeah, we see it as our mission to really enrich lives and to do it in an inclusive way. Of course, we want to, for those who are Jewish, create Jewish memories. That's what our mission is.
Right.
And we've been around for so long and we're so big that we have over 200 people who are even full-time on our staff. Like, we have a huge operation.
Wow.
And it's such a joy to be a part of this. And I've been doing it for so long. It's nice to say it out loud. Sometimes you don't have the opportunity.
You pinch yourself like, wow, this is...
Yeah, we really do. Like, our mission really is something that we do, and that it really does make an impact in our community. The United Way is one of our funders as well, because even as we're one of the largest recipients of United Way funding as a Jewish community center, like around the country, because there's a recognition that we're helping the entire community and the United Way. And we give a ton of scholarships for people who are in our early childhood and camp programs. So we help people who don't have the means to participate, and that's always something. We want to make it as accessible as possible.
Yeah, I want to do a left-hand turn, right-hand turn, U-turn, do one of those
exit ramps.
That's exit. I want to take an exit ramp here, and talk about why and how you wrote your book.
Okay, I wrote a children's prayer book, which is called With All Your Heart. And at the time, I was working in a Jewish day school environment, and I noticed that part of the curriculum of the school is that there's a prayer service on a daily basis, and there wasn't a prayer book that was designed for children in that setting that I felt I could just adopt, so I created my own. And I worked, it was a huge, great project. It was a labor of love.
How long did it take?
It took about a year and a half from beginning to finish. And all of the artwork in the prayer book is designed by children. And there's some really talented children artists out there. But the way that the book was designed was so that the meaning of the prayer was shown through the pictures as well as in the text and in the translation. And so it's color coded. It's a very educationally minded that's behind that. And it's being used, and I created that in Minneapolis when I was there at the Minneapolis Jewish Day School. And it's being used by over 50 other schools. At this point, I don't even know where it's being used because the publisher just sends it out.
So you're getting all these royalty checks.
I wish. Unfortunately, the school where I created it is hopefully getting the royalties. But.
Is it in Hebrew?
Yeah, so it's like most traditional, and in Hebrew the word is Siddur, that's the word for prayer book. It's a Siddur that has Hebrew, which is the traditional prayers, and then English translations.
Okay.
And the translations, again, are child-friendly, so they're not using this language, this old English language that no one can understand. It's very accessible for the children.
So I'm thinking about having kids write these or do the artwork for that. Did you say, hey, this is the prayer that we're going to talk about, and you went over the prayer with them and said, draw something, or was this, because it's a pre-K through 8 prayer book? Is that right?
It's elementary age, and it was a process. We sat with all of the students as part of their art curriculum at the time, and we talked about the meaning of a given prayer. So, for example, there's one prayer where you should love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, which is called the V'ahavta. So we talked about love. What does it mean to love? How do we love one another? And, okay, now let's draw pictures of love. And
wow, that would be tough.
Yeah,
that would be a tough.
There were a lot of hearts.
Well, I guess, okay. All right.
The people holding hands.
I get it now.
So if you have a class of 25 students who are all doing this art, you pick the one or two ones that you think is going to inspire the reader the most, and you pick that one for the prayer book. You do that for all the different prayers. That's how the process works.
How many prayers are there in the book?
I can't tell you off the top, but
it's like 100 questions on the prayer book here.
Yeah, it's a full morning prayer service.
Okay.
So in a service, it's broken down in many different ways, but there are, probably close to 100 prayers within it.
That's cool.
That is. That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah. That was, 25 years ago. Feels like a lifetime, but it's still out there in the world. So
it tells Mark, and I'm going to speak for Mark because I know him well enough to know that we would agree on this, that and you mentioned the word passion, your heart is really to help improve individuals' faith in what they have and in the Jewish culture. And you saw that I see that as an educator. I see that in what you're doing at the J, through working with adults, through, the conversation that we've had and the vibrancy in which you're communicating it. It's not, we got to do this and we got to do this and we do this and we do this. You're excited about what you do. It's not a job for you. It's fun for you.
Yeah, it really is. And there's so much opportunity out there, and is all the, knowing that people's lives are touched, this feels good to me as, it touches my soul when other people are enriched and their souls are helped. It is fun, and it should be fun. Everything we should do in life should have some sort of element of fun and passion and excitement, or otherwise, it doesn't really.
Yeah,
I agree.
It pays the check, pays the bills.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, of course you got to take care of your basic needs. On top of that, I tell my own children, I have 3 boys, follow your passions. Do something that you feel like is going to contribute to the community that really speaks to who you are as a person. And for me, that's why I became a rabbi.
And that's interesting because that's something we were instilled with in University City, was give back to the community. And it was said and it was not said. It was something that was just a part of how we grew
our
up.
Culture or whatever.
Yeah. And it is a culture.
Unspoken
rule.
Do you? No, I totally agree. Yeah. We were a very giving and loving community when we grew up.
Yeah.
I'd like to think it's still there. But we were all inclusive, and we didn't care where you were from, what the color of your skin was. It was amazing.
Yeah.
We had a great time in U City when we grew up because it was just everybody was thrown in there together.
And you didn't have to worry about Twitter or TikTok or any of those things, right?
Stuff.
You can just be together, right?
And we had a lot of Jewish friends because there were so many synagogues there, and they'd spend the weekend to walk to synagogue and whatever. It was a wonderful experience as a young lad.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
And I wish more people would have that kind of experience. If not, we'll help them along.
But yeah, that's what we need to do. For the next generation, we have to help them.
We do.
That's correct.
Yes.
So Sababa, the Jewish Arts and Culture Festival, folks, September 29th from 10:30 to 4 p.m. it's Stenberg, right? Steinberg Family Complex. That's Millstone
Michael
Campus
Stenberg.
out at Creve Coeur.
Correct, Michael, yeah.
Michael. He's quite the developer.
Michael's awesome. He's also quite the philanthropist, too.
He is. I guess he is. Yeah,
he really does.
Walmart. Think Walmart, you think of Michael.
Yeah, Chesterfield Valley.
Yeah, Michael.
He's a builder, he's a developer, and he also is
smart.
A really pillar of our community.
Yeah,
well,
he truly is.
That's important that if you're gleaning something from the community, that you give something back to the community.
Michael has done that, I think. Yeah, and continues to do it. Yeah.
So I invite everyone to come join us. I think the forecast looks great, and we have ample parking. Security is going to be, come like you come to a ball game, and you obviously your bags will be checked, and it'll be a safe environment for everybody. And unfortunately, in today's world, with any kind of public event, you have to do that, especially a Jewish one. But we're attuned to the security, and hope everybody can be there.
Do people need to bring clear bags?
Yes. Otherwise, you might be asked to put your bag back in your car.
Okay, that's a big thing. Just to make sure, folks, you hear that. Clear bags when you come.
Absolutely.
Or don't bring anything. And you get a bag at one of the events.
Absolutely.
And
we have lots of containers.
Yeah.
Bags.
SABABA.
STL.com.
Right.
Right.
There's an STL at the end?
Yes, SABABASTL.com.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah.
Okay.
SababaSTL.com.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be fun.
Rabbi Brad, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
To talk.
Come back anytime you want.
Well, just invite me, and I'll come back.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Come join us.
We're having fun here. This is Arnold Stricker with Mark Langston of St. Louis in Tune. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to St. Louis in Tune. On each and every show, we strive to bring you informative, useful, and reflective stories and interviews about current and historic issues and events that involve people, places, and things. Hey, we cover a wide range of content in the arts, crime, education, employment, faith, finance, food, health, history, housing, and humor, justice, and sports, and that's just to name a few. While St. Louis in Tune originates from the Gateway City and covers local topics, we connect to what is going on nationally as well. If you missed any of our previously aired programs of St. Louis in Tune, simply visit stlintune.com. That's stlintune.com. There you'll find every show from our first to our most current. Use the search engine and look for a show that might interest you. And if you have an area that you'd like us to examine deeper, let us know. Just drop us a line at stlintune@gmail.com. That's stlintune@gmail.com. St. Louis in Tune, heard Monday through Friday on the usradionetwork.com and many great stations around the U.S. and, of course, right here in St. Louis. Our website again is stlintune.com. stlintune.com.
Welcome back to St. Louis in Tune with Arnold Stricker and Mark Langston. What a great time with Rabbi Brad Horwitz, Mark.
What a great guy. Yes.
Yeah, what a fun guy.
He is.
Very knowledgeable and real passionate about what he does.
Yes. Happy fella.
Yes.
He really is. Sounds like a great event.
It does. It does. Again, it's the Sababa Jewish Arts and Culture Festival, September 29th at 10:30 to 4 p.m. at the Steinberg Family Complex. And that's on the Millstone campus in Creve Coeur. You can check out where that's at. I think it's at Schutz and Lindbergh.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, and also...
It's right there, up on the hill.
Up on the hill, right.
Yep.
Sababa, SABABASTL.com for their website.
Mm-hmm. That's, I haven't been out there in a while.
I haven't either.
That Holocaust museum that's out there. We used to go out there with some of the classes and what an amazing place that is.
Yeah,
too.
I've not been there since they expanded, and I'm sorry to say I haven't done that, but I need to get out there because and we've had some of the folks on about that when they had the expansion open.
Yep.
I need to get out there and check that out.
Pretty interesting. Yep.
Have our word of the day goes with the Sababa, Mark.
Okay.
It's interesting. We haven't done the word of the day for a while.
We need to do it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Things have just gotten away from us. And many people will know about this. It's al fresco. And it's not the guy. It's not a person. It's not Al Fresco. It's not Alan Fresco.
It's not Alan Fresco.
It's not Alan Fresco. Al fresco.
Okay.
It's a reference to specifically eating in the open air. And so in the unlikely event of some sunshine, you can even dine al fresco in the open air. So it's eating in the open air. You'll be doing al fresco at the Sababa Festival.
I like that. Yeah. Okay.
You see some restaurants there have that outside.
That's
maybe out in the street area. You know, they have a little street area.
That's Al Baba. Al Fresco.
Al Fresco. Right.
Al Baba's a different guy. No, Al Fresco. Al Fresco.
Al Fresco.
That's okay.
AL space FRESCO.
It almost is an Al.
Yes.
Fresco.
That's correct.
Like a guy's name.
Done or eaten in the open air.
I like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You have some days of the day, Mark?
This is our government, our Congress, hard at work.
Oh, it's some special day.
Coming up with them. National Pet Bird Day. Did you ever have a pet bird? We had a canary once.
Growing up, we had a pet cockatiel.
A cockatiel?
Yes.
Don't even know what a cockatiel would look like.
And it's gray and has yellow and orange on the ears.
Uh-huh. If you're an Australian, it's National Australian Citizenship Day.
Oh, okay.
So welcome to America.
Yeah.
And Constitution Day, one of the world's most important documents that makes America the great station it is today.
Yes.
Today is Constitution Day.
And in all the Missouri public schools, they are supposed to be teaching on the Constitution today.
Oh, is that a fact?
That is a statute.
Oh, it's a statute.
I believe that's
wow,
correct.
They even took it a little further then.
Yes, I believe it is.
They finally
statute.
did something worthwhile, though. Yeah. I'm kidding.
Rather than spend our money in the wrong way. Did I say that?
They seem to be good about that. Okay. Now, here's one for you. It's International Country Music Day. Country music.
I'll be darned.
Yep, it's Country Music Day. On International Country Music Day.
Okay.
Yep, that's right.
International Country Music Day.
International.
Now, does that mean it's the music of the country or what we would term country western music?
Ooh. They changed country western, even though country western is. International Country Music Day is a day of festivals, concerts, dancers, and all kinds of other events that celebrate country music to honor this distinctly American genre.
Okay.
So country music has always been,
Yes.
for me, an American music.
Correct.
Where you've got the lads from Liverpool.
Right.
That's definitely an English
Right.
influence. There's Shakira from Mexico and Colombia in that area.
Right.
But today is about the music, its popularity. We joke about country music a lot, about losing your dog or your truck, your job, your girlfriend ran off. But in reality, it's a deep genre to a lot of people. A lot of people really enjoy
And
it.
it's morphed into a variety of subgenres.
Yes.
Because, as a matter of fact,
Country-
we're going to have in another show, we're going to have
country rock.
Rodney Justo, the lead singer for Atlanta Rhythm Section, on in another show coming up. And that was the country rock. They were labeled that way. A little
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Let's see, what else do we have? Smithsonian. I never could say Smithsonian.
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 Right.
You have to say it's
Yeah, emphasize the sun. Smithsonian.
Smithsonian Day. I think I do better when I don't look at how it's written.
Yeah.
But today's that day.
Okay. Have you been there?
Yes.
Great place to visit.
It is, and we probably should. Our families talked about going back and just doing a Smithsonian.
You can do one of those museums for a whole day there.
I know, it's crazy.
And the Air and Space is up at Dulles
Yeah.
Airport.
Now we went. I can't remember what it was, but it made me mad because they had one closed down for some reason for a day or two.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
Because you go to D.C., you got limited time.
I know, and I came all this way, and the one museum I want to go to is closed down for a couple of days. That's not right. So anyway, it's that day, Smithsonian Day,
Okay.
as you said, Smithsonian.
There you go.
You have to say it funny, huh? Time's up day. You're out of time. It's National Time's Up Day.
Time's Up Day.
Who makes up that stuff?
Gosh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a lot of ridiculous going on, I'm afraid. Yeah. And I'll give you one more. Because there's so many, like National First Love Day. Do you remember your first love? I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do. I sure like the one I got now.
Yeah, absolutely. Good answer. Good answer.
I don't know about the others, though, right?
Yeah.
National Cheeseburger Day.
Okay.
There you go. We're going down the wrong road now.
Yeah, we are.
Nothing like
Yes.
a big old fat cheeseburger.
Yeah, getting close to...
Yeah. What kind of cheese do you like in your cheeseburger?
I'm not partial to really any. I like a variety. Some people got to have the cheddar. Some people it's Swiss. I don't care.
Yeah, I like cheddar and Swiss. I'm
Yeah.
right there. Take them both.
I have a test question for you, Mark.
Oh no.
Jack's mom has 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
North, south, east, and...
West. Oh my God. How do I let you do this? I know. Hey, I think we're out of time. No.
My silence doesn't mean I agree with you. It means your level of stupidity left me speechless.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, my goodness. I just asked my 9-year-old son what he learned in school today. Mm-hmm. He said, apparently not enough because I have to go back tomorrow. And then there was the sign that said, don't let anyone ruin your day. You're an adult. Just do it yourself. When I was young, I was poor. But after years of hard, honest, painstaking work, I'm no longer young. And Mark to never make snow angels in a dog park.
That's good advice.
Yeah, and I never make the same mistake twice. I make it 5 or 6 times just to be sure.
Thank you very much.
And lastly, I know I've said this before, but it's a great one. So after winning the game, I decided to throw the ball into the crowd like they do on TV. Apparently, it's unacceptable in bowling.
Yes, you think? Oh, my God. Ouch.
Imagine the glove for that one.
No. I could not.
Well, folks, we thank you for joining us. That's all for this hour. If you've enjoyed this episode, you can listen to additional shows at stlintune.com. Consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to grow. I want to thank Bob Berthasell for our theme music, our guest, Rabbi Brad Horwitz, and our co-host, Mark Langston. We thank you also for being a part of our community of curious minds. St. Louis in Tune is a production of Motif Media Group and the U.S. Radio Network. Remember to keep seeking, keep learning, walk worthy, and let your light shine. For St. Louis in Tune, I'm Arnold Stricker.